Hello viewers, welcome to Core for Any. Medicare app Flutters inside. Today we need to see here onboarding screens we need to develop here. Inside we need to use this here the page view binders and also need to develop here the page control UI and to skip buttons and next buttons also need to develop. First of all, so need to see here the designs inside the XD files. Now need to opening this here the XD files. Here need to look like this here the three page need to develop here. Let's start how to write down inside the Flutters. First of all, so needs here the import needed image need to put here already into export inside the XP files. First video inside we need to explain here how to export this here the this image need to explain today, not explain again. Need to see this here the second video. Now first of all, so need this here the needs here. Go inside here the city and need to give this here the click events and then opening this here the this onboarding screens. Now need to like this configures here the need to set here on select. We need to write down here the context dot push extension methods need to calls and to call this here the onboard screens. Like this need to configures and to save here. Now need to click here any city and now need to opening this here the onboarding screens. Now today we need to first of all the needs here for the page view controllers we need to declare here. Then after the indicators which page are the selections like this need to another variables need to declare here. First of all need to set here the index page need to selected index need to save select page is equal to need to set here the 0 and then after need to declare here the page related data I have already prepared inside the text. Now need to put here need to set here first of all first image data, then after the second page data and third page data. Like this need to configure here. Also need to declare here the page controllers is equal to need to set here the controllers and initialize here the page controllers. Like this we need to configure here. Now first of all need to give this here the scaffold colors need to set here the background colors color whites. Then after need here the stacks because need to page above need to page indicators need to show, that's why need to using this here the stack need to declares here the body inside need to declares as a stack and need to set like this here. Now need to developing here the page view binders and we need to set here the item builders inside the context and index need to pass here as a page need to get here. Now also need to pass here controllers parameters as a controller and then after item counts need to set here the page array dot length we need to pass here. Like these configurations are needs and also another configuration page change you need to change this here the page controllers the events. If you select here the one then to show here the second page like this you need to configure here. If you select here the second page then show second dots, other dots are the unselected. Like this need this here the page need to get here the page events and to set here the set state. Select page is equal to need to write down here the page like this configures and to set here. And now we need to draw here the gets here the objects. First of all need to identify here page array and index of value as a need to objects inside the save. Now need to making here the UI need to developing here need to returning this here the view as a columns like here's and two semicolons like this configures. First of all need to give this here the some space between the here this space need to set here need to give this here the top space need to use this here the size box and to give this here the height. Need to use here context with extension variables need to use this here the with extension variables and also need to import this here these extensions color extensions inside to write down these functions. If you not see here the first video, first of all you need to see this here the setup video, and you need to write down like this here functions. Now need to use this here the 85% need to screen width need to given this here for this, not need to give need to 40% height, so need to set the width need to set here. Now set here the image and need to pass as a assets, need to give this here the objects, and we need to pass here the image. And now we need to give this here the width, context dot width extension variables need to use here, and multiply by 0.85% of width. We need to set here the width. Now we need to save here and to show here like this UI, and this is the page controls are the setting here. Now need to show here the titles. First of all, need to give this here the some static heights. Need to provide, need to set here, need to use this here the context size boxed. We need to set here the height as a 20, like here's. Need to save here, and now need to create here the titles. Use this here the object variables and to pass this here the title, and need to set here the style, text style, set here the colors, T color primary, and we need to set here the font size as a 20, and also need to set here the font weight semi bold 600, so need to set here. Like this you need to configure, and now need to show here and look like this similar to designs need to creating and showing here the every titles. Now same as need to showing here the subtitles. First of all need to copy here and to paste here. Now need to set here the key names as a subtitles. Also need to set here the font and colors need to change here. Need to write down here the color black, the color black we need to set here like here, and regular fonts need to set here the 400 and look like this show, and also need to set here the alignments as a center text alignment like this configures and blue showing like this here. Now we need to developing here the skip buttons and next buttons need to develop, need to outside of the page view binders. Now need to go here and we need to set here the another columns and declares here childs, and first of all need to give this here the cross axis elements, need to set here the center like here we need to configures. Now needs here the some space, we need to copying here the dynamic space, and we need to paste this here, we need to set here the 20% of width, we need to give this here the top space, and then after we need to developing this here the skip buttons. Now need to write down here. First of all need to draw here the row, and we need to set here the paddings of the horizontals, graph with paddings, and we need to set here the padding symmetric horizontal 20 like this configures, and to save. Now need to drawing here the custom buttons need to developing inkwell wells need to use here, and we need to write down here the on tab event like here, and check here the childs, and first of all need to developing this here the containers, give this here the width we need to set here the 18s, and also need to set here the height 80 40, and then after need to set here the decorations box decorations, so need to configures, need to set here the colors, color white for the background colors, and we need to give this here the border radius, need to set here the border radius circular 5, need to configures, and now need to draw here the round borders, need to draw, need to create here the borders set here the border false, give this here the colors, the color primary colors need to set here, and also need to give this here the width as a 1. Like these configurations are, and no look like this here the show, and now need to give this here, these buttons are the right sides need to show. That's why I need to change this here the max axis alignments, set here the max axis alignments as a end, like this configures, and to set here. Now we need to draw here the text inside the buttons. We need to create here the childs, and also need to give this here the alignments need to set here as a center, dot center, like this configures. Now need to set here the text, need to set here the skip, and we need to set here the style, text style, set here the color, t color primary color. Then after font size need to set here the 16, and then after need to font weight, need to set here the font weight 600. Need to save and look like this, similar to designs need to showing here the skip buttons, same as need to develop here the next buttons. Now need to copy this here row, no needs row, need to copy, and we need to scroll down, need to set here the spacing, space, like here, and also need to change this here next button, and need to remove here the borders, and need to set here the t colors primary colors need to set, and we need to increase this here 120, and need to colors also change this here color white, text colors, and we have to set here the const value, and show like this here buttons. Now need to give this here the bottom space, we need to configure here. Now need to copy here inkwell, and to put here, set here the 30% of width, like this space need to configure, and also another space between here the page view controllers and next buttons between to give this space. And now need to develop here the page view controllers, need to draw here the row, and we need to give this here the main axis alignments, need to set here the center, and set here comma. Now we need to set here the childs, need to configure here the page array, need to set here the map, gets here the objects of value, and we need to returning here view of the controllers, and to write down here the to list. Now need to returns as a container, and need to write down here the semicolons. Now need to create here the decorations, box decorations, need to set here the colors. If first of all need to finding here the indexed, where indexed page array index of value, and to pass here the objects, and to get this here the index of the active index, need to get index is equal to selected page, check here equal to select page. Then we need to give this here the t color primary colors, we need to set here. Then after need to set here t color primary text, white colors need to set here, sorry for that. And also need to give this here the margins, const edges inset, symmetric horizontals, need to give this here the space as a 8 now. And then after need to set here the width and heights as a 10, I need to set here, and also need to set here the border radius. Set here the borders radius circulars as a pi, and need to also set here the borders. We need to copy inside the skip buttons, and we need to paste these here. Now look like this here the show. Now we need to configure here the change events. We need to write down here the next buttons events. We need to write here. We need to making here the events. First of all, we need to write down here the check if brackets inside brackets and else parts. Need to write down here last page, next buttons, press like this. Need to else parts inside. Now need to check here the select page less than or equal to less than. Need to write down here the page array dot length -1. Then to set here the set state, select page is equal to plus or equal to set here the 1 increment by 1 like this sets. And also need to configure here the controllers dot animated page. We need to set here the page as a 1, not once select page, and we need to give this here the durations. Millisecond 200, so need to give this years and const value. And now we need to set here the curve in outs like this. We need to configure for this events. And now need to develop here the actions. Need to create here the to do action, and need to write down here the void action next screen like this. Common functions need to write down here, and to write down here the debug print. And we need to last page next screen open event like this prints. And to use these functions, like here, so need to calling this here. Set up these brackets here. That's why I get here the errors. We need to fix, and also need to give this here the script inside. Now we need to save here. Now we need to click here the events. We need to check here consoles. Need to clean, change here, change here. Now need to first page, click on next, next, and then next need to show this here the last page screen opens. And also need to skip buttons, same events need to calls. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new user, so please subscribe my channels and press the notification bell icon. You can get every new video notifications and awesome content. If you have any questions, so please write down the comment sections. I will help you and sort out your issue. Everyone have a nice day. Goodbye and take care.